Okay, so today's video is gonna be a huge mess, I just know it. Kind of like me. I wanted to do a video about jealousy with infertility and like how I deal with it, and I don't know, I just want to talk about it. I needed to talk about it for myself, so I thought, well, I'm gonna make a video about it. But then I started writing like a bunch of notes down, and I realized that it's not gonna be a video just about jealousy. It's gonna be a video about like every feeling, basically. So yeah, I don't really know where to start. Maybe I'll start with, I don't know. This really is gonna be all over the place. None of my notes are in order. Nothing's gonna make sense. But I guess it's just all stuff that I wanted to talk about, so I'm just gonna do it. Did I want to record this video today? No, not really. Do I feel like crying today? Nope, hopefully that's not gonna happen. Also, I feel like I look like I've been crying, but my eyes are just like red today. I don't know why. But usually on the days when like I don't feel like recording, it's usually just because like I'm just trying to put it off and put it off and put it off, and this is a video I really need to do for myself. I feel like I'm kind of in a mood. It's pretty normal for me to be in some kind of mood. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Let's just do this. Okay, I don't even know where I'm gonna start. Okay, I guess I'll start here, okay? And this kind of it goes along with what I'm gonna be talking about. No. By the way, who uses mechanical pencils still? Like, my husband bought a ton of mechanical pencils, so I'm using it. But this is like so satisfying. Okay. Oh. I just broke it! Sorry. Not you, Henry, not you. My dog won't come cuddle me either, so that's annoying because I needed support today. I don't know where that went. Hopefully there's more. Okay. All right, so I've been doing something that has just like, I think since I've been doing this little challenge that I've been doing this week, or the last, what is it, like 10 days now or something like that. It's a 14-day like self-love challenge that one of my friends is doing. And so it's just kind of like brought out all of these like emotions and feelings. Like each day we have a topic that we focus on, and all of this stuff is just like brought up things that I've been like pushing to the back of my mind for a while. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I need to talk about that. Or like one of the days was talking about, like each day has a theme basically, and some of the themes have been really spot on with like some of the things I've been struggling with infertility. So it just made me want to talk about it, I guess. I don't know, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it's a 14-day self-love challenge. My friend Laura is doing it. She is like one of my favorite people ever, and it's kind of strange because I like hardly ever see her. I used to see her a lot more because she used to teach at the gym that I went to, but now she teaches somewhere else, and so I don't see her very often. I do her family photos, and really that's the only time I see her. We went to lunch once. We need to do that again. But anyway, she is one of my favorite people, and it's so strange to me how like you can meet someone, and also I've known her for years. We went to school together. Anyway, long story. It's so strange how like you can know someone or think you know someone, and like I never thought we had anything in common, you know? Like she's very different than me. She grew up very different than me. She has a very different life than me, you know, obviously, as does everybody else. Oh, I have a ringing in my ear, like really bad. My mom always told me that was a sign of high blood pressure. I don't know if that's true, but I do feel stressed out, so maybe that's why. I feel like this video is just stressing me out already, and I haven't even said anything yet. But so yeah, I just think it's really weird how you can know someone and think that like you're just like miles apart. and in a lot of ways we are, but it's so strange how like since we've kind of reconnected and like talked about certain things that like we're really similar in some ways too. I think it's our brains that are really similar and kind of like the way that we think. So anyway, long story short, if I see that Laura's doing something, most of the time I'm there, I'm in, I'm jumping into it. She's just one of those people that is always trying to like better herself and help others better themselves too, especially women. Yeah, and I just love her. Anyway, so when I see that she's doing something, I'm usually just like all for it and want to do it. And this challenge, I saw it online and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel like doing that right now. I can't commit. I'm not in a good space. I'm stressed out. I'm, you know, going through like the fertility stuff and taking medications and I don't feel good and like I'm not doing it. That was my stance. Like I do that all the time, by the way. It's kind of like the mood I'm in right now. Like I just like get really bratty and I'm just like a little kid almost and I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, and so last week I went to my gym and did a class, and one of the girls there who is a friend of ours, she was like, oh, did you see Laura's challenge online? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. And she's like, oh, well, you should totally do it. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do what I can and do what I, take away from it what I can. Like, if it's something positive. She said something like, just bring in more positive things. That could be good. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I feel like I kind of looked at her and just stared at her with like, I was listening to her, but I was thinking in my head like, yeah, she's right, you should do it, and you already knew that you should do it. So I went home and I messaged Laura and I'm like, okay, add me, I want to do it. And I told her, I was like, I feel like I've been like just knowing that I needed to do this challenge of hers, but I was just like ignoring it. I'm just like, nah, don't want to do it. Probably because I knew that I just like needed it. Because I knew that everything that she would say would like register with me, and it has. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, I'm going to like kind of quote her just because, and I told her I would and she said it's fine. Also, I should mention, so she is, like I said, I think is studying to be a life coach. She teaches PiYo Live. She's a high fitness instructor. She is just like awesome and she's super cool to follow. She's not one of those people that like just posts like inspirational quotes every day and like selfies. No, like she might post quotes and stuff, but it's because she actually believes them and she cares about people that follow her, and she actually genuinely does care and want people to succeed and be happy and be healthy. And so she's a great person to follow. Her she's on Instagram and it's just at Shine Bright Daily. She's awesome. A lot of the things that she said were things that I need to talk about and things that pertain to like me and my feelings and what's going on. I don't know how to start this video. I've been talking for like ever already. 10 minutes. What should we start with? Jealousy. Holy crap. Okay, I feel like like when I was younger, I definitely was a jealous person. Like I would look at other people and other girls or whatever and think like, oh, I wish I was her. Oh, I wish I had that. Oh, I wish, I had her color eyes. Oh, she's so pretty. I wish I was like her. I used to be like that when I was younger. And I mean like young, like elementary school. I was a weirdo. There was like a couple girls that I just thought they were like gorgeous. This is so weird. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I can't believe I'm gonna tell anybody this. But so there was like a few girls that I just thought were like, I wanted to be them. So for some reason I got it in my head that if I stepped where they had stepped, that like I would take on some of them. Oh my God, that is so weird. But I really thought this in elementary school. I remember there was like a specific girl and I would stay kind of far from her, and like I didn't even know her. I think she was a little bit younger than me. But on the playground, like I would watch where she would step and I would step in her footsteps. Does this mean I'm gonna be a serial killer or something? Like this is so strange, but that is absolutely the truth. And I did that for years. I used to do that to my dad. I used to like step in my dad's exact footsteps when we were like at the beach or something when I was a kid. It's so weird. That's gotta be like some kind of mental thing. What's wrong with me? Wow, okay. So I feel like when I was younger, it was jealousy, stuff like that, you know, like whatever. I think all little kids do that. But I would say, like, other than that, like as an adult, I'm not a jealous person. I've never been jealous of, like, I don't know, what people have or how they look, or like, oh, they have a nice car or whatever. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff, you know? Like, if you know me as a person, you know that, like, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Like, yes, I am a little obsessive with, like, my house and, like, decor, and I like I like nice things, and I like my house to look the way that makes me feel happy, but like I don't care about things. Like, it's just things. I'm not a person that, like, if I got, like, I don't know, a new car or something, like I wouldn't like plaster it all over Facebook like, oh, look at my new car. Like, I'm just not that person. So I don't feel like as an adult I've ever been really like a jealous person. But going through infertility for me has made me so insanely jealous of moms that, like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. That's so stupid. Why would I cry about that? That, like, I can't even handle it. I cannot handle myself. I can't handle myself being jealous like that. It's insane, and it's so weird. Yeah, so it's definitely brought out a different trait in me, like with the whole jealousy thing, that I guess I didn't expect, because I feel like when we started first realizing that, like, okay, I'll just kind of put a story out there. So, like, I always wanted to have kids. My husband and I always want to have kids. We tried early on in our marriage, like our first year, we stopped using any kind of preventative measures, which I never took birth control, but yeah, so we stopped preventing, like, really early on. And I never got pregnant, and, like, in the back of my mind, like, it always kind of bothered me, like, you know, I wanted to have kids, so of course I thought about it, but it wasn't as big of a deal then, just because I was so young and it was so early on. It wasn't really until my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they got married and they got pregnant right away. And that is what first, like, really sparked some major, like, jealousy stuff with me. Not right at first, but they got married, they got pregnant right away, and then me and Josh were like, okay, that's so exciting. Like, we were so excited that we were gonna be aunt and uncle, but we're like, okay, like, we need to really get serious. Like, we need to have kids. Like, they're gonna have a kid, and be so cool to have, like, cousins that are close in age, because him and his brother are only like a year or year and a half, something like that, apart. They're really close in age. Yeah, and so we just thought that'd be so cool. So when they got pregnant, we really started trying, and that was 5 years ago. Yeah, I mean, we had started, like, getting serious before that, but, like, once they were actually pregnant, we were like, okay, like, we gotta get pregnant right now. Like, we have to have our nephew have a cousin, like, you know, that'd be so cool. Yeah, so just, like, her whole pregnancy, I was just like, I remember that's when I first started kind of turning into a crazy person. I remember, like, some specific times that I was, like, with them out and about, maybe at, like, I think her parents' house or something, at a barbecue, and I remember saying things and knowing that, like, you sound like a crazy jealous person. And I remember knowing that I sounded like that, but, like, it was just spilling out of my mouth, like, just saying things. Like, I just couldn't stop saying stuff all the time that I knew were, like, I shouldn't be, but I would just get, like, so, I don't know how to explain it, like, so worked up about it that, like, I just couldn't hold anything in. So, like, I remember saying, like, oh my gosh, like, you guys just got married and you're gonna have a baby. Like, that is so crazy to me. I can't believe that you're gonna have a baby already, and, like, you've just like, you haven't even known each other that long, and you just got married. Like, saying, like, bratty things like that. And I wasn't saying them to be, like, hurtful. It was seriously, it was just out of jealousy. And and almost like out of hurt a little bit. Obviously not towards, like, nothing towards them, it's all to do with me. But yeah, so that's like the first time that I really remember feeling like jealous. And then fast forward to after they had him and all of that, and we still couldn't get pregnant. I've talked about this before, but I used to watch him when he was a newborn up until he was like two, I think. Like 2 to 3 times a week, every day, all day at their house while they would work. And that turned me into an absolute psycho. I used to, like, not really think he was mine, like, obviously, but when he was with me all day, I would treat him as if I would treat my own baby, you know? So I had his day scheduled out. He would have naps at specific times. I only fed him, like, good food. I would take him for walks, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, obviously he was my nephew, and I loved him, and I wanted the best for him, but it just turned into something where, like, when I was there, I was happy with him all day, like, while they were working. But then when I would get in my car at the end of the day and leave, it's almost like they had the life that I wanted. And during the day, I was just, like, playing that part of, like, mom. And then when I would leave and go home, it's like I was leaving behind the life that I wanted, and I was going home to an empty house. And I know that sounds messed up. I mean, it wasn't totally empty. I had my husband and a cat or two. But that's just what it felt like. So I had to quit watching him because, like I said, I was turning into a psychopath. And that's just me being totally honest. That's just what happened. And then, so that was a few years ago. I mean, my nephew is gonna be 5 this year. That is crazy. And I have talked about this before too, but, like, I had to totally step away from, like, their life quite a bit. Like, I don't see them very often. I know that sounds messed up. I don't see him very often. And it's really for no other reason aside from that, like, I just know what I turn into if I start, like, going there. Not like literally going to their house, but, like, if I go there with, like, seeing him all the time, going over there all the time, and, like, they have the life that I want, they have the kid that I want, and then, like, my brain starts going crazy, like, I start being judgmental, like, they don't appreciate him, you know, they didn't have to work very hard to have him, and they don't understand how hard it is, and I do that with everyone. I feel like I should not be saying any of this or putting this video out there. Like, people are gonna think I'm a terrible person. I don't think any of my family watches these videos, but, like, oh my God, still. So, it's not just my nephew, it's literally everyone. Like, it's become, like, it was to where if anybody I knew, and it could be, like, someone, like, I hardly knew, like a past client or something that I was, like, friends with on Facebook, they posted a pregnancy announcement. And I'm like, oh, yeah, of course they're pregnant. They've been married 2 years, and, like, they didn't have to try, whatever. They probably didn't even want it. They just accidentally got pregnant. Like, that's where my brain goes. That's what I do. And I'm not saying that's what I did. I'm saying that's what I do. Like, this video is not, like, jealousy and emotions and all of that and how I deal with them really well and how I've overcome them. No, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to deal with most of it. And that's a lot of reason why I make these videos, is because it helps me just to at least talk it out. I'm not gonna freaking cry in this video either. And I am sweating because I'm all anxious and whatever. So, yeah, that's what I do. Like, and the first time that like, kind of slapped me in my face, like, what I was thinking about everyone, was I had a client who posted a pregnancy announcement, and I was like, oh, of course they're pregnant. Of course she is. Like, of course she's perfectly healthy, and she's just able to get pregnant because she, like, chose to get pregnant at that time, and she was able to. Like, they got to plan it, like, oh, we're gonna get pregnant, you know, in March of this year, and then they are. Like, how wonderful would that be? Oh my God, I'm so envious of that. But I was completely wrong. She started watching, or found, like, my Instagram, my infertility Instagram, and she sent me a message. And she actually ended up meeting with me and telling me, like, her story and stuff, and she had to do IVF, and she just wasn't sharing that with everyone, you know. Nobody knew besides her family. And it was so amazing that she shared that with me. And so then I was like, oh my God, there's probably so many people that post pregnancy announcements, and they're just, you know, just because they're pregnant doesn't mean that they didn't have to struggle to get pregnant. And, you know, I don't know their story. I don't know what they went through. How can I judge them? How can I think anything about them? But that's just what I do. And you guys, I still do it. I still do it. It's really hard. I don't know what's like, there's something like in here. It's like I've got like a tick or something, and it won't let me like move past certain things. It's really strange. Yeah, so jealousy is a huge thing for me. It's really, really, really hard. I'm not jealous of anything or anyone. I'm jealous of moms. I'm jealous of moms. If you have a kid, I'm jealous of you. If you post a pregnancy picture, I'm instantly jealous and mad and like enraged and like throw my phone on the couch. I'm like, okay, I'm off the internet for the rest of the week. I can't handle seeing other people have kids because it's not fair. That's just me being totally honest. That's what happens. Okay, so let me get into like some of this other stuff. Oh, I guess I should kind of keep on the topic since I've already been talking about family stuff. The worst for me so far has been, so you know, I was talking about my whole nephew thing. So my sister-in-law, who's my nephew's mom, she got married a couple of years ago, and it was almost like once she got married, I'm like, okay, now it's a race. Like, we have to get pregnant, Josh. That's my husband's name, by the way. Like, we have to get pregnant. They're gonna get pregnant before us, I know it. And I can't have my nephew have a cousin that's not from me first. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. Isn't that messed up? Like, this is just what happened. Anyway, so of course, she got pregnant. She had a baby. That absolutely like killed me. Yeah, that was tough. That was like the hardest, that was really hard. That was a day where my husband had to, you know, I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that. But that was definitely a day where my husband had to like come in the room because I was just like sitting on the bed sobbing like a baby. He tells me all the time, and especially with her pregnancy, he was like, you know, you can't be mad at people. You can't get upset because someone else is gonna have a baby. You have to be happy for them. And you know, that's easy for someone to say. But I can't make myself feel anything. I can't make myself feel a certain way or not feel a certain way. So, you know, that's just how I felt. I mean, it sounds really messed up, but like, I wasn't happy. And I'm still the same way, like, for the most part. I mean, I'm a little bit better, but like, I'm not really happy. Like, if somebody else posts a pregnancy announcement or whatever, you would think like a normal person would be like so happy and so excited for them. I'm not there yet. I'm really not. I'm just like still so jealous, and I get so just like the amount of rage that I feel sometimes is like scary. It really is. And I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, especially when I'm not going to the gym as much right now. It's like I want to just like do kickboxing or something, and like I can't. Yeah. Yeah, so I can't make myself be excited for somebody else. I can't make myself feel happy that someone else is having a kid. I don't know, maybe someday I will get to that point. I don't know. It's pretty messed up, but that's just the truth. I don't know. Would anybody else ever tell you that? I'm saying it. That actually brings me to part of that 14-day challenge that I was talking about. One of the days was be happy for others. Like I said, I'm not there yet. And then another one of the days, which kind of goes along with that, was about being self-reliant. And it wasn't in the way that you would think it is. It was more so, don't rely on other people to make you feel a certain way. Don't rely on others to make you feel good. You know, some people look some people need and want like praise and encouragement and compliments from others. Like they don't feel good about themselves unless somebody's like, oh, you look good today, or oh, you did a good job, whatever, you know. I'm not that kind of person. I don't need praise. I don't need compliments. Matter of fact, I don't even like them. But yeah, so self-reliant is about don't rely on others to make you feel good or any certain way. And don't let others choose how you feel. That is such a huge one for me that I struggle with so much. So especially with infertility, it's like if I see a pregnancy announcement, I instantly choose to let that ruin my day. And I'm choosing that, and I know I am, but sometimes it's just so hard not to. So sometimes I just like literally have to say, like actually say it out loud, I'm not gonna let that ruin my day. I'm not gonna let you choose how I feel right now. That's really, really hard to do. But at least I think through this 14-day challenge, at least like I'm more aware of it. And I know I was aware of it before. I've said it before, like it makes me so mad how certain people can affect how I feel. But sometimes it's just really, I mean, when I put but in front of it, it just really sounds like I'm trying to make an excuse, but I'm just saying like it's hard to not let that happen a lot. So yeah. Let's see. Okay. Something else that we talked about. Okay. And I'm totally gonna kind of quote Laura on this. Hopefully I don't mess it up. There was this whole thing in there about a slide. And I know that sounds weird. And I'm talking like an actual slide at a playground. And I'll kind of tell the little story that she did. I might tell it a little differently, but whatever. Basically it was about like her son was scared to go down a slide at the park. And he just wouldn't go down it. He would like go to it and like get too scared and then not go down it. And I think it was her mom or her mother-in-law told her, well, just push him down the slide. Just push him down it. And so that just got me thinking like, yes, okay, the slide, like, I think the slide is supposed to kind of be like something you're scared of, like anything you're scared of in your life. For me, that's a lot of things. But it's like, you've just got to get down it, you know? And then you realize like, oh, okay, if that wasn't so bad, I could probably do that again. And then so I was telling her, I'm like, that is like, I related to that so much today, you know, on the challenge day that she was talking about that. And I said, I feel like the slide is my life. Like that slide is my whole life. Like I'm constantly just afraid to go down that slide, and then I do go down it, but then I feel like all I do is I just have to keep going down that slide, and I just have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And she told me, she's like, that slide is not your life, that's just part of it. And when you have to keep doing something over and over and over again, it makes it feel like it is, but it's not, it's just part of it. So like, she's so smart, isn't she so smart? So I feel like that really, that correlates with a lot of things in my life, but especially like infertility stuff, probably more the emotional side of it than like the physical stuff and like actually doing things, but like the emotional stuff. Kind of talked about this before too, or maybe I haven't talked about it, but I think I like wrote an Instagram post about it or something, like kind of going along with jealousy, I guess. It's like for me, infertility takes the joy out of everything. Like it takes the joy out of like every single thing in life. And I think it doesn't for a lot of people, and it does for a lot of people. It's just, I don't know, everybody's different, but I think you just get to a certain point where like you're so far into it that it's so hard to see joy in anything on the daily basis, just anything. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. Like, you know, anything that I used to find joy in, either I just can't anymore, or it's like a real struggle for me to. And it's really hard to like live with just no joy. It's like, it's really sad. So I know that sounds messed up and a lot of people probably won't understand, but I just really feel like it just sucks the joy out of everything, and it just does. Oh, I think there was, let me see on my phone, I think there was a quote. So there's somebody that I follow on my Instagram. What are they called? I think I wrote it down. Yeah, I did. It's, the Instagram is Infertility Counseling Support. They posted something the other day that I thought was really interesting and really liked. And it was about trauma, and trauma can be like so many different things, but when you're going through infertility, you experience trauma all the time, and it can be like, everybody's story is different. So it can be anything. It can be loss. It can be just like the psychological trauma of like seeing a negative pregnancy test over and over and over, and like there's just, it can be so many different things. So this is about trauma, and I'm gonna read it just because I really liked it. And it says, one common response to bear the shame for the trauma, internalizing the blame and believing it is your fault somehow, that you're not good enough, your body isn't adequate, you're bad, defective, your body caused the trauma, you deserve it somehow, and that's why the trauma is happening to you. It's an unconscious deal one makes and uses as a coping defense in an attempt to explain or make sense of and survive something that has felt so out of control, so painful, and created such vulnerability. And that is so true. And then they ask the question on here, like, have you made deals with yourself? Anyway, that is so true. Like, I find myself doing that all the time, where like, say, you know, 1 month I really thought we would be pregnant and then we're not. And I'm just like, well, it's my fault. My body just doesn't work. Or, well, I have bad eggs, or, you know, I must have done something in my life, you know, to be a really bad person. And so I don't deserve to have a kid. I want to like choke myself. Anyway, so I really related to that. It's really true. And that also kind of goes along with part of the challenge I'm doing as well, about guilt and failure, about feeling guilty and about feeling like a failure for, I mean, anything in your life. And Laura brought up a good point in our challenge. She said, who is setting the standard? Who is setting the standard for you to feel guilty, or so you don't get to this point in your life, so now you're a failure, or you don't, you know, do this such and such a thing on this day, so you failed that day. Like, who is setting that standard? And it's me. It's me. It's totally me. And she's totally right. I have, you know, I always in my head have had like, okay, like with this infertility process, you know, okay, now I'm gonna try this medication, and then after that it's gonna work, and I will not have failed, and I will be happy, and my life will be how I want it. And then that doesn't work, and then I get to the next thing. Okay, I have endometriosis, I'm gonna have surgery, and then after that I'll be able to get pregnant, and my body will work, and then I'll be where I want to be at in my life. And then that didn't work. Okay, so now I'm gonna try this medication. And like, it's just this vicious cycle of like, always like, once I get this in my life, or once I get to this point, then I'll be happy, then I'll be successful. Like, it's crazy. And I think probably a lot of people do that with a lot of things. Maybe it's a job, or like, once I make this amount of money, or once I have this size of house, then I'll be happy, or whatever. And like, you know that's never the case. Life doesn't work that way. That stuff, well, first of all, life doesn't go the way you want it most of the time. So a lot of the times you're not gonna ever like get to that achievement to make you happy or whatever. So you can't rely on that. You have to find other ways, you know, to be fulfilled. And obviously I'm not there yet. Just with all of this, my answer is I'm not there yet. I'm somewhere in the middle of like still learning and trying things, and then like it's a very slow process of slowly figuring things out along the way, and then still not knowing what the hell I'm doing. So here's another thing. This one totally sucks, and this one might just be me, and it might be my perception of things, and some people might hear this and really not like it. But here is something too that's really, really hard, and it goes along with, I mean, just everything, the jealousy, just the everything. You know, people in my life, close to me, and even like not so close to me, but that are around or that I know, like, and I'm talking pregnancy. I mean, do I have to say that? That's what all this is about. It's always like everyone else is just moving right along with their life, having kids, living happily ever after, and I'm always the one that is just left out. I get left behind and just like left in the same exact spot, and I'm just there, and I'm just stuck there, and I just can't move on from it, and it's really, really hard. Jesus, don't bark, you scared the crap out of me. Do you want to come cuddle? Because I'm sad. Come on. Yay. Oh, so I know I said that I have no joy in my life because I'm emo today, but this is the one thing. The one very thing. I mean, I really don't know how like someone can go through like really tough times without having a pet. It doesn't have to be a puppy. It can be a rat, it can be a cat, it can be a bunny, a fish, I don't know, I don't care. Just something that like, just loves you and cuddles you no matter what. And like, I just look at this dog and there's no way that I cannot just like feel better. You can't really see him, but whatever. So is that kind of it? I don't know. Like I said, this video is a flippin' mess. I just like needed to talk, and then I wrote down a couple of points I wanted to get out there. I don't even know if I covered them. I guess kind of with what I said before about everybody else moving on. Another hard thing is like, as much as people try, like as much as you try to not have this happen, it's just like people with kids and people without kids, it's just different, okay? And I'm aware of that. And so any of my like family or friends that have kids, like obviously like if we used to see each other all the time, like we just don't anymore. And part of it's because they now have kids and they're busy and whatever. But then also, you know, they have friends with kids, and so they can hang out and have play dates and all of that. And so again, I get left behind. And I feel like sometimes people that didn't have kids before forget that feeling, maybe. And like, even like, and I have some friends, you know, that have gone through like suffered, no, not suffered. I mean, it is very sufferable, is that a word? Who have had trouble getting pregnant too, but like once they are pregnant and have their babies, it's like they forget what it's like. They forgot what it felt like to be struggling to have a baby and how hard it is. And now they have their baby, you know, they're wrapped up in that, which they should be. I mean, that would be like the most joyful, happiest, blissful, amazing time, and I would want to be all wrapped up in that too. But that's just another way that I get just kind of like left out, I think, because people forget what it feels like. And you know, I hope I never forget that. If I am able to ever get pregnant and have kids, I don't, as much as like I do want to forget this feeling and this stuff, because it is really hard, I don't want to forget the people that I know that, really, Henry, go on. Oh, jeez. I don't want to forget the people that I know are struggling too, because like I want to remember for them, I think. That's probably it. I don't know. This video was a disaster. Quit it. But that's my video on jealousy and all the feelings and how I'm like a psychopath. Maybe somebody out there can relate. Maybe you're a little bit, you feel a little bit cuckoo like I do. But so that's why I just kind of stay alone and do my own thing with my husband. And like, I push everyone away. I just like, it's like my safety blanket. Like, I'm just trying to protect myself by just like staying away from everyone and pushing people away. That's just, it's just my defense mechanism. Like, that's just what I'm doing. But I mean, I'm just trying to protect myself and my sanity, and it's not one of those things where it's like, face your fears and like go to a baby shower. No, that's so stupid. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I've done that. Well, I did it because I wanted to do it and I could. But, you know, so yeah, that's just kind of why, like, I don't really see anybody, because I can't handle it, and I can't handle their, I know they're not perfect, but like, to me, like, their perfect little life with their kids and all of that. And you know, I just want that for myself so badly. And maybe it's just me being selfish, but I kind of think it's me being more self-aware. Like, I'm really aware of my feelings, and I'm aware of when I'm getting enraged, and I'm aware of when I just can't handle stuff. So I just stay away from it all, sit home and talk to myself in a camera because I'm really weird. So that's it for today. I hope when I watch this back, I'm not like, oh my God, you're crazy and you didn't say anything you meant to. We'll see, I guess.